everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. It's Cindy. So I'm back with part 5 today of the Wishes and Weeds Traveler's Notebook Make Along. So this is part of Nancy's challenge over at Wishes and Weeds, or her Make Along, to make a traveler's notebook. So I'm making 2 traveler's notebooks because I have 2 camping trips in 2021 that I want to be able to bring along a notebook to document just kind of the stuff that we do, maybe collect some things. So this is, I think, video number 4 on my channel. So today we're making pages 13, 14, 43, and 44 first, and then 11, 12, 45, 46. So 2 pages today. So the first one, I'll show you, I made the prototype sort of already. I made the first one already, and I'm going to make the second one with you. So here is the first page. So it is, I'm not using what I should be for this because I couldn't find a vintage greeting card, a second one. I have one. I actually have like a couple of them, but I can't find them. I tore apart all my little bitty things this morning, all my little vintage ephemera cards and stuff, and it's gone missing. I just had this exact card in my hand like a day ago. I have no idea what happened to it or where I've put it down, but silly me. So I do have one to use for the project that we'll do together though. So I basically just made my own, and like the concept is, here's the one I'll use for today's project. This is an old Easter card, and they were like, you know, like this basically. So this is a really old one, probably like a 50s or something. So what I did was I took a children's book page that I really liked, and I made the same shape basically of an Easter card, of a card rather, and it will work perfectly. So what we do is it needs a lace cluster at the bottom with a button, and then we glued this like this. So basically when it goes in the book, you're going to have 2 pockets at the top. So, and that's it. So that's what we do for that one. So let's just go ahead and get started, and I'll talk about the next page after that. So we've got our card. The lace pieces I have here. And where's my little button? There it is. So let's just go ahead and make that. So first thing is to apply your lace. You don't want to do any gluing yet until you've stitched down your lace to where it's going to be going. So I'm just going to grab my Fabri-Tac glue, because it's going to help me kind of place all of this down. Oh, that lace doesn't go there. Okay. So I think what I wanted to do was kind of like this. This like kind of on an angle like that. That one like this. And then this piece here. And then the button here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to do. And I don't want to cover up the little fairy too much. So let's lift these off and then pop some glue down here. We need a little bit of extra glue because we're not stitching these on. So we just want to make sure that this will stay tacky. Thankfully, Fabri-Tac is like an indestructible glue. Okay. I'm just going to put it right on here actually, and then a little on here just because we can. Where is my card to just give that a little press without getting Fabri-Tac all over my fingers entirely? So it is Friday of the long weekend. So I guess it's kind of appropriate that I'm using an Easter card. Okay. I'm just going to scrape off this. Sorry about that. I just want to scrape that glue off and grab a baby wipe just because I don't like getting Fabri-Tac on my fingers a whole lot. There's a specifically tough glue to get rid of when you get it on your hands. And my hands are already like a complete train wreck because of many things. I've been, you know, there's already like the hand sanitizer, like constantly over an entire winter of dry air and such. And then, yeah. And I'm like painting and inking and doing all these things all the time with my hands. And then I'm like working with wool and my hands. I'm going to need a hand replacement at some point. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a second and actually wash my hands. So hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hands clean. So now that we've got all these stitched down, I'm going to put a button on here, and I'm not sure if I want it in the center or off to the side a little or up here a little. I think I might just put it in the center. Okay. I'm going to stitch it on with yellow thread. I'm using an embroidery floss for this, so there we go. I'll only need like two stitches of this. And then we'll just tie off here. Okay. Then, one smart thing that Nancy recommended is because this is a pocket and you're going to be shoving something inside that pocket, stuffing it with something, you want to make sure that it's not going to catch on the thread. So she recommended to just use some masking tape to just hold that down, and I think that's a great idea. So now we've got this. So what we have to do is we have to glue this and then open up the top, I believe. Yeah. You know, I didn't pay enough attention to how she opened the top of hers. Oh goodness. I have an idea though. I'm just going to grab my ruler. Or actually no, I'm gonna do the gluing first. Yeah, glue first and then it'll be easier. So I'm going to use art glitter glue for this. It is a cold day today. We went for a little walk so that we walked to the graveyard so my daughter could go do she rides her little scooter around and has fun with that. And my son runs around, and we went to visit this. There's a family who lives like off the side of the graveyard that we frequently go to, and they have like 8 pugs. It's crazy, but they're so cute, and they're in the backyard, and they're being really adorable, and they're really, really nice little dogs. And so we go and we play with them. We visit them, which is nice. So we did that today. And then the province just announced yesterday that as of tomorrow, we are heading back into kind of our mockdown, as I call it. It's not really a real lockdown. I don't disrespect my friends that live internationally who actually do go into real lockdown, because that's not what we're doing. I'm just looking at this and I'm wondering about it because, you know, I don't want to hide this and this, and I think like it's going to go into the pocket like this. So I think what I'm going to do maybe, I was going to just like thinking of doing like a little pocket like that, but no, I think I will actually just cut the top right off of it with my paper cutter. Yeah. Okay, let's grab the paper trimmer. As you can tell, I like completely forget sometimes when I'm watching like a video and then I have to follow what someone else is doing. I'm a terrible copier. Maybe that's a good thing. Okay, so let's just trim this. There we go. Well, that was the music for today. The Fisker's paper harp. Okay, so now we make sure that this opens, and it does. It's all good. Okay, so that is all we need to do, I think. Yeah. So cute, right? That'd be really cute in the journal. I'll show the journals to you at the end of this. Now we're going to move on to the next one. So let me just plunk this back on here. We have both of them. And now the next one is pages 11, 12, 45, and 46. So let me pull this off here. I'll show you my prototype. So this is a piece of vintage ledger paper. That's what Nancy used. And you also use a collaged pocket. She used a collaged envelope. I used just some cardstock. And I collaged it. Then you stitch these two corners before you attach it. Then you actually stitch it right onto the paper by stitching the other two corners. And then you have a pocket. And then you can just stuff it with any piece of ephemera you like. It could be vintage. I chose to use one of my tags for making paper woven tags from my scraps. And then the inside I just inked, and what you do on page 45 is you create a lace and fabric cluster, and that's it. So not too difficult at all. So that is prototype. Then these two go together as so. So that will go into the journal. So we'll move this one out of the way, and let me grab my supplies for this one. So I did another collage pocket, and there's my lace and my fabric for this one. So the first thing that I want to do, oh, the other detail that I forgot to mention is the rounding of corners. So with your 1/2 inch on the crocodile or your whatever paper cutter you have, you just round the corners here. Then with the pocket itself, I already did this ahead of time, the collaged pocket. It's going to go on like this. So you're going to round this corner, but leave the other ones alone. The other thing I was thinking is I wanted to stick something else on here. I felt like it needed like this one needs like a focal point, because I feel like the edge is just a little hard or something. I don't know. So, let's see how much space we have here. Maybe like a bird would be nice. Let's see, a bird. Yeah, let's just ink around a bird and put a bird on it. Reminds me of the show Portlandia. Such a funny show. They had an episode where there was a store that was opened, and it was like kind of the trend at the time that everybody was making like bird themed stuff, and so the store was literally called Put a Bird on It, and that was their whole success plan for their business. And they were like, you can bring it to us and we'll put a bird on it. It was just like the funniest ever. And I had the weirdest thing happen with one of my glue sticks. Look at this, it liquefied. I totally don't get it, but it's gush, like it's really gross. But I just want to use it up anyway, so I'm going to, because I'm like that and I don't like wasting things. Because I'd feel awful just throwing away a whole glue stick. I don't like it, but I'm going to use this spatula, because this is the stage we've reached here at Studioloo. We're just spatulaing old weird glue. It's actually not old though. I don't know what happened to it. It contracted a problem. I don't know. Okay, so pop this bird on here. That's good. All right. Now, the other thing I want to do with this is I want to ink around the paper. So just give it a quick little, especially around these. I left these little ledger tabs on purpose because they're so nice. I think this is just making me really excited to go on my camping trip. It's actually kind of a glamping trip. It's not my traditional, and that we're staying in a cabin, not in a tent. Traditionally, we are tent campers, but with 2 little ones and considering what's going on in the world right now, I just don't need that stress of like worrying about being at a campsite and like running around too close to other people, because you're already like worried about, you know, if your children are being noisy, or if they're running off the campsite toward the water, or if they're running toward the road off the campsite, even though you're inside a campsite. Yeah, so that kind of organized camping, I used to dream about doing it with my kids, because they get to like hang out with lots of other kids. There's so many great like campsites that have all sorts of great like children's stuff going on that you can really have a lot of fun. But then the world went mad and here we are. So I can't do any of that. So it's more glamping for sure. But I'm still super excited because all it means, everything else is the same, but I'm not sleeping on an air mattress. And my door locks, so I'm good. Okay, so now we need to stitch first the pocket. So let me just move my workboard out of the way. Sorry for the glare. I'll just move my machine over here. Okay, and we want to just stitch the 2 outside corners, because the other stitching happens when we stitch it on the page. I'm going to need that again. I just moved it so I can show this to you really quick. So here is the pocket. Now let's make sure that we have this right side up. Yeah. And it's going to go right there. So now that we've stitched these 2 corners, we're going to now stitch these 2, but directly onto the paper. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I'm just lining it up here. I don't want to make any mistakes. Grab my workboard again. All right, so now we have the pocket on there. Nice. Now we flip the page and we have page 12, and this is page 45. So page 45 has a fabric and lace tab. So this is the lovely little fabric scrap that I chose. And then this piece of lace for this one. So let's pop the tab on here, and we want to just check, like this is probably a little big. So I'm just going to snip a bit off. Then I'm going to use my crazy glue, my official crazy glue again. And I'm just going to put a little on the back. Ooh, that's a lot. Just scrape it off here with the same container. Okay, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just use my finger and get it on the other side a little, just a little bit, so that it will stick and make my sewing a lot easier. So right to the first line of this ledger, I think, on both sides, so it's going to stick out a little bit, which is what we want. There we go. Allow that to just stick. Then this, I think I'm going to put like that. Yeah, and I'm actually going to stitch it on because this is a little bit of a heavier, it's a starched cotton, so I want to make sure that it stays put. Okay. So let's see how we want this, probably like that, yeah. Okay. All right. I'll just trim our little threads here. Come here. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to grab a piece of ephemera from my box here. We'll see if this guy fits. Might be a little bit wide. No, he'll be okay. Is he too tall though? No, he's okay. So yeah, we'll stick him in there. So I think one thing that I'm really enjoying about this this project and in general this series, and I think this alone is kind of changing my current, I think, direction for the things that I want to do and make right now. What I really love about this project is there's no specific kind of theme to it, which is interesting for me because I love working with themes. But, you know, sometimes you just need a break from the usual that you do and that you work on, right? So I feel like that's what I need is just a break from the usual. So I am probably going to start making traveler's notebooks, not, you know, exactly the recipe that Nancy's providing, but just in general. I like this size, and I really like that I can include any kind of ephemera I want. Any kind of book pages that I want, anything, any papers I want. I mean, I can do that with normal books like too that I make, but I like the size of this, and I also like the variety of things. I'm starting to get more into just having more variety in my books anyways. Like, you know, as we evolve, we kind of sit more into our style. And so my style has changed a lot since I first started making journals. I've already really noticed that. So yeah, I think these are taking me somewhere. So let me grab the journals. So here are the two journals. This is where we're at with them. So this one I'm going to plunk on in here. Oops, there we go. So that's that one. And we'll open up this one. Plunk it in here. Okay. We're starting to get chunky. We're starting to get very chunky. So I'll probably try to make my ephemera a little thinner if I can. Or possibly even swap it out. Like if some things are just too thick, I may just swap out the ephemera, because I do a lot of my ephemera on cardstock and then I kind of balance it. But at the same time, you know, also I could take extra things out. I don't need to have two things in a pocket. I can just have one, that kind of thing. So we'll see how it all ends up in the end. I'll probably go back and do kind of some tailoring and altering and figuring out what works the very best for me. But also, like, I don't know what the plan for the cover will be yet, but if it's a softer cover, then none of that matters, because, and probably it will be either paper or, you know, fabric or whatever, because usually you have like a button or something on the front and then like an elastic or something to wrap around it. So the thing with travelers notebooks that whenever I see anybody working with them or taking them, is that like you end up collecting ephemera from your trips and stuff. Because of what I'm doing when I'm going, like, camping, I'm not probably going to be getting a lot of different things. I might pick up like a brochure from the town, or just something like scenery, like things that put pictures in, those kind of things. But yeah, it shouldn't get too fat, but I actually don't mind if it does. I like a nice fat memoir kind of journal. So here they are. I'm really happy with both of them. I'm like getting super excited to work on them. So thank you again for joining me. I will probably make another video today. I'm not sure. I'm going to go do some school stuff with the kiddo and then see where the day leads me. But I hope you're all having a really nice long weekend and staying safe and cozy, because it's chilly where I am. And I will talk to you soon. Check out all of my information down below in the description box, or I will also link to Nancy's project at Wishes and Weeds on YouTube. And thanks again. Bye for now.